Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. Got a video today from Chat with Bobina. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that ciao. Hopefully I didn't butcher her name too bad. Guys, and this is allowed, and my family meme of a silhouette of a pink person and a blue person in the cowgirl stance got me a strike of nudity and sex. Wow.
I know that our generation is very brain rotted, but the most brain rotted thing out of 2024 has got to be the Bop House. Do I even need to explain what it is? They're talking about tech workers. That's who are in this house.
Yep.
nlyfans models. Like, that's the people who are in this house. And then
I haven't heard any of us in this space talk about this Bop House. Then I saw Bobina's video and I was like, you know what? It's time.
they have applications for this house. And
What?
making it like, oh, like everyone wants to join the Bop House. Like, make your video to this song if you want to join the Bop House. It's like, why are we recruiting workers on TikTok?
We're also recruiting teens. Like what? Like feminists and women love to argue that, oh, they're so young, they don't know better. They can't pick an older man to take advantage of, but you'd rather have them become workers instead? Because that's so much better than finding an older gentleman that actually genuinely cares about some of these people.
TikTok. And then you have minors doing the dance and sending in applications, and literally everyone that sends an application, whether or not they get accepted, has literally just like ruined their reputation.
Pretty much.
Why don't you start an OnlyFans? You could earn millions in weeks.
I already got millions. Sorry. I'm joking, but I'm also not. But also, please stop asking questions like that, because it's like weird and inappropriate. It's like, when are you gonna take your clothes off to make more money? Like that's
Pretty
a
much
substitute
is what
teacher
they're
my
asking.
Senior year asked for my.
No, the men in this generation also perpetuates it too. I agree that there's too many simps out here just wanting to pay for pleasure.
Phone number and said he saw me online. I'm not kidding.
Children have been sexualized since the beginning of time. For example, in the 1900s, on the media side, it was done through movies, magazines, books, and music videos. But when it comes to this topic, three people come to mind: Brooke Shields, Britney Spears, and Millie Bobby Brown.
I can feel the steam inside me right through my dress.
The Christ, I didn't feel insecure. Everybody wanted me to be miserable. Everybody wanted me to be uncomfortable. Didn't you miss your childhood? Didn't you feel like taken advantage of? Did all these things. People were desperate for me to say yes. And I didn't feel it.
Children will do pretty much anything you tell them to do, and so it's the job of the parents to ensure that they're not taken advantage of and they're protected from adult content. But because everyone on set was telling her that everything is fine and it was normal, she didn't have a reason to think that there was anything that was going on that was wrong, and she didn't have a reason to feel unsafe or anything like that. I think it's become easier for people to police mainstream media. For example, the Jenna Ortega and Martin Freeman movie Miller's Girl, people were not having that. People were not here for that. And even though Jenna was 22, or she is 22 years old, because of their 31-year age gap, people were like, that's weird, that's creepy, we didn't want to see that, we didn't need to see that. Britney Spears is another person who was not protected by the people around her and was asked very inappropriate questions for a teenage girl. And you can even tell from the interviews that she was very uncomfortable and she didn't really want to have those conversations.
There's one subject we didn't discuss. What was that? Everyone's talking about it.
What?
Well, your breasts.
My breasts.
You seem to get furious when a talk show host comes up with this subject. Okay, in general, what do you think about breast implants?
I do agree this is kind of an awkward topic to be talking to a teenager about.
Just in general.
The fact that this man felt comfortable to ask this teenage girl this type of question on national TV is insane, disturbing, and disgusting. Why would...
Hey, it goes the same way around when it was Justin Bieber too. They actually were even worse with Justin Bieber. They would make these innuendos and even touch on Justin Bieber. So it happens both ways, but I feel men are seen as, you just gotta take it.
He feel comfortable to ask her that question? I know it's a different time, but still, it's inappropriate. It doesn't matter if it was 900 years ago or whatever. It's inappropriate. It's wrong, and she's young. Yes, celebrities have a lot of influence on their supporters and their fans, but he didn't have to frame the question in that way. He didn't have to go, can we talk about your breasts? Why? She's 16. And I think it's really sad that they didn't have the type of parents that will protect you and keep you safe. For example, you know, people like Zendaya have like a very strong support system, have parents that are very, you know, involved and very like supportive and caring. And it's just so sad that people like Britney Spears and Brooke Shields didn't really have that. Then in comes the internet. It has become, if not practically impossible, to police the type of content that your children are taking in. And then the rise of OnlyFans and how it's being glamorized and
how it's allowed on platforms. And then again, my funny little joke about family gets taken down and strike.
Put out to be this like cool and like liberal, like liberating thing to do as a woman if you want to make money and just live your best life, which is actually a facade and it's a lie, because adult work is adult work. It doesn't matter how glamorous it looks or whatever, it still has the same impact on you. It doesn't matter if you're a freelancer, OnlyFans, or you're with a production studio, it doesn't matter. It's all the same and you get the same results. And I talked more about the mental implications of it in this previous video that I did. I will put it on the screen somewhere and you can check it out after you're done watching this one. It's become very scary knowing that OnlyFans models are now pretty much content creators, and they're found on platforms like TikTok. And on TikTok, they created something called a Bob House, which is practically a house for girls who post their bodies on the internet or just get around with anyone. And these girls are the ones that are popular and they're selling OnlyFans as this cool and like fun way to make money. I think it's really important.
This Bop House just reminds me of the Playboy Mansion, does it not? They are literally recreating the Playboy Mansion and just how everything was back in the 90s with this Bop House.
And to realize that even though Sophie Rain and the girls in the Bop House might be making content that seems very, very innocent, you know, they're dancing around in like skimpy outfits or like Spider-Man outfits, like that content is not targeted to adults like me or like 25-year-olds, 26-year-old women. No, it's targeted to men that are attracted to them and men that are going to buy their products on OnlyFans, and also the young girls that will be watching, because TikTok is made up of young and impressionable kids, which is very scary, because how then do you police that content on the internet? How then does TikTok come and say, oh, you cannot be posting content like this? Because the content itself is not like explicit, but
that's the thing, right? It's close to explicit, but it's not explicit, but that's okay. But again, I'm just so upset about my stupid strike on that one joke. It was a still picture. It wasn't even, it was a silhouette of a woman and a man. There was like no breast, no shape to them. And I still got strike when people are allowed to breastfeed, people are allowed to be nude on YouTube. I'm confused.
When you dig deeper, you then realize that, yeah, there's more to this story, and it's very scary because the kids that are watching that content will run into the Bob House and be like, oh, these girls are cool. Then they will start searching up more content about these girls, and then they'll find out, oh, they're OnlyFans models.
That's how it works.
That sounds cool. I think I want to be an OnlyFans model because they're impressionable and dumb. Because they're kids, and it's okay that they're dumb, but they just have to be protected. And I think it's very wrong that these women come on the internet and act like, oh my gosh, I just make like 60K. I make like, no, 60K is nothing. It's very underwhelming. I make like 4 million in a week. Tell me which young girl is it going to be like, oh my gosh, how? Where do I sign up? When? How do I do that?
Just giving the numbers that the women give at the Bop House, yeah, they're pulling in ridiculous numbers. Even men are just like, how can I even? But it's also propagated by simps.
Even if Sophie Rain claims to be a virgin and she doesn't really post anything explicit on her OnlyFans, hey, I've never been on OnlyFans. I don't really know how everything works out. But what I do know from what I've heard is that a lot of the girls have to either make corn or they have to post really explicit content. And if you ask yourself, yes, she dances around in like her leggings and like underwear and stuff like that, but for how long is she going to dance around? How long till her audience go like, yeah, we've seen all the moves, now we want more. Yeah, like show us more, we want to see more. How long do you think that she's going to keep making the same amount of money dancing around like a little girl when she's a woman? Yeah, that's not gonna work. She's gonna have to do something, because is it Camilla? Like all the other OnlyFans girls that at least I know of, they do really explicit stuff. That's why Bonnie Blue and Louis Phillips are trying to one up each
I mean, you kind of have to make the crazy money, is what I've heard.
other. And I think Louis Phillips was upset when Bonnie Blue did the 1,000 guys. I think Bonnie Blue is a snake. Like, why would you do that to your friend? She was like hyping us up, and like there was probably going to be another documentary and everything. The whole point that I'm trying to make is that these girls, whether they accept it or not, they're going to have to strip, they're going to have to do explicit things, they're going to have to sell their bodies more than they already are at the moment for them to even come close to making the same amount of money that they're making right now.
True.
They're still fresh faced, they're still young, but with time there's a new girl that's going to come.
The sad thing is that this bop house and all of this really gears women. Okay, it actually gears girls, young girls that are like 16, 17. They're gearing them up ready for the bop house. Like she said earlier, there's underage girls that are sending their applications to the bop house, getting ready to want to join as soon as they hit 18. I mean, what happened to wanting to be an astronaut, a nurse, a pilot, and all that? That all went out the window.
Around who's going to be like cute and going to be like young, and then you're going to have to do more to compete with her. That's just how it is. That's just the game. But kids today, I mean, it's a different time, I guess. That's why I say it's a different time. They have all this technology, they have all this makeup and all this and that, and they think they're grown up and they think they're mature and they think they know better, which they don't. So
they really
it's
don't.
Really scary. And to be honest, how do you even begin like controlling the situation? How do you even begin policing?
You can't. Women have been given so much freedom in society now, and even young girls, they get to do whatever they want. It's not like men can say anything, their parents can say anything. There's no shame factor anymore. Women have lost the shame factor.
Seeing the situation, because you might blame the women, yeah, but then the men are also contributing because they're paying for these women to, you know, keep making this content. So it's like, it's a cycle of both people. There's always going to be someone who's going to be creepy, and there's always going to be someone who's going to do the thing that they probably shouldn't be doing. So, I mean, I don't know. At this point, I don't know. I'm lost for words. I don't even know how. Maybe if the platforms themselves say, yeah, if you do adult work, you can't really post on our platforms, I think that might work. But then, like, for them to come to that point, it would be like,
the way these platforms work, they don't care. They just want money. If these women are going to post on YouTube, Twitter, and all these things, they're not going to care. Especially Twitter or X now. X, I've heard there's massive corn on X.
Oh, you're discriminating, blah, 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 because we want to include everyone. We want to be inclusive. We want to appreciate everyone, which sometimes if you're appreciating everyone, you're stepping on someone else. And I think children are much more important than adult content stars. So I think, I mean, I'm lost for words. I think this is all just crazy and it's very wrong and disgusting. And I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments, because to be honest, I'm lost for words. Like, I don't even know what you can do to fix this situation. I really don't.
Bobina, I don't know either. Most of us men are in this boat. We would love to correct some of the issues. I think men would really love to correct the issues that we are having, that women are just too promiscuous. They're just going into OnlyFans. They only care about money. We don't know how to fix it. It has to be the women that want to fix it themselves. They have to be first aware of what's going on, and then once they are aware, they have to want to change. That's the sad part, right? It's accountability and then the process of changing because you have accountability. They don't even have the accountability part down yet. How can they do any of the change? Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll put you guys up.